In this video, I'm going to show you how to get Eleonora's Poleblade, as well as how to use this beautiful blood-based weapon. It is actually really cool. So let me start out by showing you where you get this beautiful weapon. This weapon is unlocked right after you go up the Grand Lift of Dectist. So right over here to the north side. So when you get up this pathway up the lift, all you have to do is just run along this path and head towards the north. You'll jump down a small little cliff over here and you will get there quite easily. You basically just need to get to the second church of Marika at this location over here, and you will fight an NPC, and once you beat this NPC, you will receive this Eleonora's Poleblade. If you want to have a look at what I have equipped, right now we have the Eleonora's Poleblade. As you can see, the stats are this. This weapon requires Arcane, Dexterity, and Strength. You're mainly going to level up your Arcane and Dexterity, though, to get the best out of it. The more Arcane you have, the more Blood Loss buildup it will have. The armor that I'm wearing are these pieces over here, in case you're interested. For my Talismans, I have Raised Dexterity. I have vastly increases my maximum HP, because I end up trading a lot. Raises my attack power with successive attacks. And then the same thing again, but this time with one that raises the dexterity. Now the nice thing about Eleonora's Poleblade is that it attacks really often. It doesn't hit for really hard amounts, or like very big numbers, but it attacks often enough to kind of stagger enemies and just feel really fun to play. The Ash of War skill is really cool as well. It does kind of like a back charge like spin, and then a bunch of spins to follow up, so you're going to get blood loss, you're going to get damage, and it's going to work really well. And if we test the heavy attack over here, you can see the heavy attack is like a nice charge thing. The longer you hold it, the more damage it's going to do. And it can really destroy enemies if you time it really nicely. Overall, it's a very fast-paced weapon and fun to use. I think the hardest parts about using this weapon is using it against bosses or anything that's going to attack often, because you don't get to just sheerly dominate like you do with the weaker enemies. So something like this over here, you can see here, I have to be kind of careful. Trading damage is something that's going to happen quite often using this weapon, but if you time it right and you use a lot of like skill-based maneuvers, you can play effectively and, get through it. Or you can play like me and get your ass whooped like this. One other thing I'd like to mention about the Ash of War for this weapon is that when you press it, like if you spam it again and you do it like right after you're doing it, like here, if you press it again, you actually add a second kind of like a jump back, but with a spinning attack, so you can go like this and then back again like that. So it has like a two-part Ash of War skill. So if you use it like twice in a row, or like, right as you're still using it, it changes the ending. Let me show you how it performs against enemies such as the giant over here. You can see here, it has very slow damage buildup, but when the blood loss procs, it procs real hard, and you just can just spam and get here. You can see he's not really focusing me, so I'm doing okay, but I managed to do a lot of damage there. So this is a very fun weapon to play, but I feel like it's a very dangerous weapon to play, and it's very specific on what you're trying to do, because you've got a lot of moves that spin and keep you busy in the combat. You don't really get a lot of time to quickly stop and dodge and get out of the way, so you end up having to commit to attacks that you might not actually come out on the better end. So for this weapon, it's like a 50-50 for me. I like how it plays, but I just don't like the safety of it. It feels very dangerous to play. But it definitely has one of the most coolest styles and looks in the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.